I mean, that would have been terrible. So,
and that could have happened.
Oh, yeah, it absolutely could have happened. Let's start. Draymond was in the wrong, obviously. But let's start with Sabonis, because he wasn't in the right. First of all, he flopped. If you watch the tape, I mean, he's kind of engaged with Klay, and, you know, Klay kind of turns and he falls down, which is gamesmanship. It happens in the NBA. And then he does, as we all know now, he grabs Draymond. So the one thing I think the refs got wrong.
Stepped on.
No, but look, he was wrong. You can't do that. This is not football. All right, he's not a running back. He should have got a flagrant one. He got a technical. He should get a flagrant one. They got Draymond right. He should have been ejected, which he was. But I think beyond the technical, a flagrant one is unnecessary contact with an opponent. He's grabbing his leg.
Deal.
So that's all I'm saying. He should have got a flagrant one.
Now that's fine. Let's talk about Draymond.
No, I mean, I'm just saying.
I got it. But we all agree that what Sabonis did was not a natural basketball play.
It was a dirty play. Grabbing a basketball player by the ankle
is dirty.
Okay.
Okay.
Draymond was much dirtier.
Okay.
But let's not defend
Again,
Sabonis.
I'm not gonna. This is an old debate trick you learned in high school in the 70s, which was like trying to argue on
I'm not trying to defend Draymond.
I will concede all of the Sabonis points because I want to talk about Draymond Green. He can't control himself. It was wildly dangerous. It was violent. As far as sports goes, sports violence.
It was terrible.
You said it could have cracked his ribs. I agree with you. And it was in the fourth quarter of a critical game that his team needed. And yet he can't control himself. And his explanation, which was essentially, if you're holding on to me, what do you expect me to do? We all saw in game one when the Warriors were trying to get out on a break, Draymond intentionally lay on Sabonis. And Sabonis couldn't get up. Would it have been fair game for Sabonis to then punch him in the stomach? What do you want? He's laying on me. Of course not. Of course not. And Draymond, I also think his history matters and his histrionics afterwards, before he was ejected. All of the nonsense. This is an all-time great player who, much like another all-time great player who was critical to multiple championships, can't help himself. And we look at Dennis Rodman as, call it, an eccentric, somewhat unserious figure. Draymond Green is building a media empire and smarter than the media, smarter than other players, has the ability to turn it on and turn it off. I am here to tell you, Draymond Green is unserious. If you repeatedly get thrown out of critical playoff games because you can't control yourself, you're unserious. And the idea that he then goes, and I was waiting to see if we had a longer explanation because I was promised a podcast after every game, but I guess it's slow loading today. I'm not certain. It's not there.
The internet.
That it was, what do you want me to do? Anything other than that is the answer. Anything other than that would have been better than full force stomping on Sabonis' chest.
I don't think he's unserious. I think he's impulsive. And he, like you said, I agree with you. He can't control himself, but I don't think he's unserious.
Okay.
I think he's wrong a lot. He makes mistakes, but he's not unserious.
Do you draw any distinction between how he acts and Rodman?
Well, the reason people look at Rodman, you can say it's right or wrong, but it's the coloring of the hair, the wearing the dress on Sports Illustrated, dressing up like a bride and getting married. That's why people say that stuff about Dennis Rodman. And Dennis Rodman, unfortunately, Detroit, before he started doing all that stuff, was suicidal. So there's a big difference in a lot of ways.
I'm just talking about how they can, the inability to, when you are, if you have to get, and I apologize to use a car analogy, but if your car can go 100 miles an hour, but whenever you take it up there, about 1 in 10 times, the transmission blows, that is unreliable. that is something that means, okay, it actually isn't a super fast car because we can't consistently get there without disaster. We all agree that seemingly Draymond has to be like this, play like this to be effective. That's a huge problem.
They've won 4 championships with him, and with Rodman they won 3 with the Bulls. So I would say they'd say it's worth, and that's what they do say. Look, we put up with it because it helps us.
Let me ask, did you buy his explanation at face value, considering that he was referencing Game 1 when Malik Monk grabbed his foot, and this was the ball's out. Malik Monk grabs his foot. He also goes in reverse there.
Yeah, tries to step on it.
Gives him a little bit of extra.
He tries to go step on it.
So he references that. And then earlier in Game 2, again on the baseline, he gets called for a foul on this Sabonis little hip check there that was then later considered incidental.
But it was obviously on purpose.
Obviously on purpose.
Here's the thing. This is why I found the explanation so ludicrous. If you want to say all of this stuff should be banished from the game, all of the little extra pulling on a guy's shorts, the little extra, box out for a rebound, throw a little extra elbow, those things, I'll listen to you. I won't listen to it from Dylan Brooks, from Patrick Beverley, from Draymond Green, from guys who make their living doing it. The idea that it was, you grab my ankle, it's so beyond the pale, I have to step on you, when we have seen Draymond, part of his effectiveness is figuring out what the referees will allow and getting away with it.
That's right.
And then it is, to me, and this is, you laughed at us when we talked last week whether or not Draymond could fight. But so much of this is patented bully stuff, which is, it's fine when I do it, and when it's done to me, it's unspeakable. It is that Domantas Sabonis was doing to Draymond exactly what Draymond would do if the roles were reversed. Chippy game, fourth quarter, I'm on the ground, I want to slow you down, I'm going to hold on to you. And Draymond's been doing that to people his whole career. He doesn't get kicked in the groin. He doesn't get body slammed like he did to Beasley. He doesn't get stomped on his chest.
No, but there's a savviness to it. Like
until
when
it's not.
He put his legs on Jaylen Brown and then got mad when Jaylen Brown pushed his legs off. And also he's like, don't do that. So he sees an opportunity almost. He's like, well, now I kind of got a free stomping. If you've grabbed my legs, I have an out. So that's the question I'll ask you, Brew. Do you think this is suspension worthy?
No. And I don't think he'll get suspended. I think the ejection was enough. Like you said, they were down 4 when he went out. So that, I mean, look, I don't know that they would have won with him. They were down, as I said, 4. But I think that ejection was enough. And you get, 3 points from flagrant fouls in the playoffs before you're suspended for a game? He's already got 2 now. So he's 1 point away. If they advance, he's got one flagrant.
I think 4 and you get. I think it's 4 and you get a suspension.
He's close to a suspension for a game.
So here's the thing. If they don't suspend him, they're purely bending the rules because it's the playoffs. Well, let me tell you.
He was provoked. I'm not saying he was right. Don't get me wrong.
Let me show you what the NBA.
He wasn't right.
Suspension worthy. I can show you. Let's show Thanasis from 2 weeks ago. He got suspended for that.
That was a regular season game? There's a difference.
Well, then we agree. Then they're bending the rules for the playoffs.
They've been bending the rules every single playoff game. Have you seen how physical the games are?
Okay, I think...
Games are a lot more physical.
Agreed.
Which is great, but
agreed.
I'm just saying.
Let me show you another play. This was, this is the Draymond play, obviously, but old friend Patrick Beverley. You see that, Brew? That got 3 games. He got 3 games. You know why? Because he's a repeat offender. That's why.
Hold on. Was he provoked? No.
They thought that DeAndre Ayton was standing over Austin Reeves.
That's different. And now, again,
he got 3 games.
What Draymond did, I'm not trying to defend at all what he did. It was terrible. But he was provoked by a dirty play. And he went to a dirtier play.
I think, okay.
And the fact that they gave Sabonis a technical shows you that they knew. He was wrong. Listen, so they need to let Draymond play.
I think that I don't want to get into a semantics argument. I would consider what Sabonis did unsportsmanlike, not dirty. There was no risk of injury. There was nothing.
How do you know?
He had to get X-rayed.
What do
Draymond
you
got
mean?
X-rayed.
How do I know? I know because I'm
He grabbed his ankle. I mean, there's a risk of injury in that.
roll it.
There's a risk of injury in that.
Bro. If this was not a critical player for the team you want to win, would you be calling what
Yes.
Sabonis did?
Don't question. No. Yes. Don't question my integrity on that.
I wasn't trying to question your integrity, my friend. I promise.
I'm just saying,
I wasn't. But you think that's a dirty
Yes.
play? Okay. All right. I don't think
it's not football. And again, I'm not defending Draymond, but he grabbed him to stop him from getting out of the play.
I'm just curious, after the ankle grab, and then we can move on, what would Draymond needed to have done for us all to agree it's suspendable? If he would have stomped and on his face, we all agree, right?
Yeah.
If he would have stomped on the groin, we all agree, right? Ooh. So the chest is like the go zone of ejection but not suspension. If he would have leaned over and punched
I don't think he should be suspended.
we all agree. Suspension, so Draymond threaded
leaning him over and punching is different.
Okay.
Or two jumps. You get one.
You think he should be suspended?
No, two stomps.
No, I think I think he saw I think he's brilliant that he saw an opportunity where it's like, oh, free shot available.
He got thrown out of the game and they lost. That's not brilliant.
Fair point.